computer's hot.
Oh.
I'm worried. Okay.
Found your coat, though. Got mine.
Why was the
Found your coat.
Arava
Okay, wait.
two? Two branches.
Two branches.
And if three branches, oh.
Yeah.
Netzach and Hod is 2.
If you take a look at everything that you're holding, it's three.
3,
Okay.
2, and 1.
Got it.
3, 2,
3, 2,
1,
1.
I guess it makes
3,
sense.
2, 1,
Yeah.
1.
That's what you're holding.
You're
Right.
holding that.
Three
You're holding
branches, two
7.
branches,
You're holding
1 and 1.
7
Yeah.
items,
Okay, I guess that fits.
essentially.
So 4 plants are actually 7.
Yeah.
All right, Alan.
Now, according to this explanation, the Torah lists them neither in ascending nor descending order. Logically, it should have begun with the Hadass, which alludes to Chesed, Gevurah, and Tiferes, and continue with the Willow, which alludes to Netzach, Hod, etc. Or it should have begun with the Esrog, proceeded to the Lulav, and continue with the Arva before the Hadass.
Because the lulav is
One,
Yesod.
Yesod.
So that way, the second way would be Malchus, then Yesod, then Netzachod, and then Chesed Gvur Tiferes. So in ascending order.
Furthermore, the lulav alludes to the 18 vertebrae of the spinal column, and Yesod is not part of the spinal column. For Tiferes is manifest in the spinal column, and all 18 vertebrae are part of it, not Yesod. Yesod is below the 18 vertebrae of the spinal column, as we see physically.
Okay. So Yesod is the bris.
Yeah,
The vertebrae are in the,
spine.
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
But I guess that is
That's the ferret.
it's fair.
the Tiferes is the torso.
Right. That's why the spine.
So Chesed is the right arm. Gvura is the left. And Tiferes then is the just the body,
Body,
which
yeah.
is the spine, is Tiferes. And that's Hod and Hod are the right and left stumps, legs. So this question is, why, if lulav is the 18 vertebrae, then why would it be Yesod? It would be more appropriate for it to be Tiferes.
Yeah.
Okay, 635 at the top.
Another question, if the esrog is one of the 4 plants, why don't we tie it together with the others, making one bundle? The other 3 plants, the lulav, hadass, and arva, are bound together, while the esrog is held separately and just touched to the group of the other 3.
I lie up awake, wondering about that.
Yeah,
If we don't answer it now.
right. When?
No, if we do it in like in a week or two.
No, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay, another question.
Another question, when we move the 4 plants, we do so in all 4 directions, up and down. These correspond to the spheres as follows. South manifests chesed.
Hold on. Okay, south is that way. Towards
Yes.
Connecticut.
Yes.
Okay. so
South is chesed.
Chesed.
North manifests gevura.
Gvura.
East manifests Tiferes. Up manifests Netzach. Down manifests Hod. West manifests Yesod, in which all the other lights coalesce, as is known. And from Malchus, which is manifest in the Esrog, we do not make any movement at all.
In other words,
It moves, I don't know.
what?
Well, that's the motion
direction,
of the
right.
waving.
Yeah,
The Malchus, we don't have any movement from Malchus.
right.
So another, go ahead to the
The word for west,
little thing.
marav, comes from the word for to mix, larev, for it is in the west that day blends gradually into evening.
Never seen that before.
Ever seen a blessed?
I've never seen the connection
Yeah.
between between
Marv,
Ma'ariv or Erev. Erev means the evening.
yeah.
It's called Ma'ariv. Simply, Ma'arav is west because that's where the sun is in the Erev, in the evening.
Oh, boy.
But
Mixing.
but it also means mix. Like it's a total separate idea, and officially it's not related at all. It's just two, one structure, one combination of letters that has two different meanings. It's unusual, but we do find that on occasion in other places. So so it's also to mix. Everything blends into evening. So if you guys want to watch a second, what we've got here is Chesed, south, Chesed,
Yeah.
north Gvura, Tiferes to the east, Netzach up, Hod down, and Yesod to the west. There are different customs for shaking the lulav and esrog. The custom, according to Kabbalah, is just what we said. South, north, east, up, down, west, which follows Chesed, Gvur, Tiferes, Netzach, Hod, Yesod.
Which is not what Ashkenaz usually do.
Right.
But that's what Chabad does.
I know.
That's right, there are
That's the
different
way
customs.
Chabad does the.
The Ashkenaz, well, okay.
What do you say?
There are different customs.
Yes, there's different customs. I was just saying that there are different customs.
I grew up in the world of Ashkenaz,
So,
Okay.
okay.
so I'm familiar with a lot of the things. The
Is it good or bad?
good,
Good to
all
be
good.
good to be familiar with things.
Just different,
different.
good.
Different and the same.
just different.
Essentially, you cover them all. Same 6 directions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but here this
There's a reason,
follows
yeah.
this follows the this directions of the
Right.
spheres. Okay, so any questions about this?
No?
In contrast, in the circuits, the Hakafos, made with the Torah on Simchas Torah, there is a 7th circuit. Moreover, the lulav and the other 3 plants are held and moved on the 7th day of Sukkot. So why, with regard to the days of moving, there is a day for Malchus, while with regard to the movements in particular, there is not?
Huh?
I don't know.
All right, so
On the 7th day of Sukkot,
with the
held and moved on the 7th day of
movements, you got
Sukkot.
1 is Chesed, 2 Gevuras, the north, 3 Tiferet, 4 is Netzach, 5 is Chod, 6 is Yesod. So when we're doing the movements in the directions, you don't move you move 6 times. But when at Simchas Torah, there's 7 circuits. So so there's no movement when you're doing the waving, but during Sukkos, but because the esrog doesn't move, so it's 6 times. But on Simchas Torah, you have 7 circuits, so it's 7 times. That's all.
And we shake the lulav 7 days. I mean, today we don't shake on Shabbos,
Yeah.
but officially we shake the lulav for 7 days, corresponding to 7 spheres, Malchus included.
Right.
But for the directions of the
For the
lulav,
directions, it's
there's only 6.
6. So that's what they're comparing, the directions to the
number of
Hakafos.
days and number of hakafos on
Wait,
Simchas
It's going to
Torah.
get worse.
Yeah.
Another question, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said that the esrog corresponds to the heart, while Malchus is the lowest sphera. The heart is generally associated with Tiferes, not Malchus.
Their Torah does not give reasons for taking the 4 kinds. However, we do find concepts that are implied by the 4 kinds. One of them is that they correspond to the body. So that the lulav is the spine, the esrog is the heart, the arava has long leaves, like the mouth, like the opening of the mouth, and the Hadas leaves are much shorter, like eyes. So we have eyes, mouth, heart, and spine. What else do you need?
Nose? Yeah.
You can do without it. So that is one idea. If you follow that, then the lulav is the spine, as we asked before in the page before. The lulav is the spine, and not yesod. If you, according to that, similarly, the esrog is the heart, and it's not malchus.
Yes. Okay.
The heart is generally associated with tiferes,
Tiferes.
not malchus.
Yeah.
Okay, Jim, do you want to pick up
Sure.
Alan's?
So, and when we explain, as we will later, please Hashem, that the etrog manifests the crown of Yesod, this will give rise.
Which is the tip of the bris.
This will give rise to the question of what connection is there between the crown of the Yesod and the heart. The latter is one of the internal organs, while the former is an external organ, one of the external. Finally, the Hadassim corresponds to the eyes. So why are there three of them? There are only two eyes, not three. Okay?
Oh, well, hold on.
Wait a second. So those are all the questions, right? So,
Yeah. Okay. Is there a name for a creature with three eyes?
yeah, Cyclops.
No, Cyclops.
Cyclops.
Cyclops, huh?
Cyclops has one eye.
It's one eye.
Yeah, so that's not it. I'm thinking of the eye in the middle, though.
Yeah, I don't.
Right.
Three eyes. I don't know.
Tripartite.
Trioptical. I don't know.
Unless the other eye
Triad.
is an inner eye from which you see from within.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I would just,
Yeah.
you know, just
Okay.
Triceratops eye.
All right.
To answer. all
try,
us- Triad.
Yeah, you know that?
Yeah.
Through all the eyes?
Yeah.
You know what VIP stands for?
VIP.
I'm
Yeah.
afraid to ask, but go ahead. Yeah, I know it's
Very
an
important person.
Yeah.
No, VIPI. A very important person indeed. And you know VIPIII?
Oh, I knew this more.
Go ahead. I know I should.
Three eyes.
3 eyes, yeah.
A very important person. Ay.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're up to 636.
To answer all this, you have to first understand the following. It's your law. As you know, the Sephirot are composed of their essence and their vessel, which are like a soul and a body. Okay.
Yeah.
These essence or content of the Sephirot are known as its light.
In other words, if you have a container
Yeah.
and there's stuff in the container,
Yeah.
okay? Now, you're interested usually in the stuff inside. The oil, the wine, there's something valuable inside the container. The container is negligible. It's not that,
Right.
that's not the point. So the spheres also, each sphere has a container, and then the light is contained. The light is also known as the inside the container, as the outside, or the internal part, or the external part. Okay.
We are not speaking now of the vessels. We are speaking only of the inner entity of the Sephirot, which divides into the inner, middle, and outer aspect known as Nefesh, Ruach, and Neshama of the Sephirah, in reverse order.
And those are not the vessel?
No, those are the essence.
Those are each three, all those three are the essence.
The inner, middle, and outer.
Yes.
So, Nefesh, animating soul, which I would guess would be the outer, but Ruach,
Nefesh is the lowest of the three.
so, yeah, that's why I said outer.
For some reason, we always mention these in ascending order, from the
Right.
bottom
Bottom up,
upwards.
yeah. Ruach, spirit, neshama, breath, are three synonyms for soul and are generally used to indicate the instinctive, emotional, and intellectual aspects of the soul. Here, they are used to describe the three aspects of divine light within each sephira. So, the nefesh of the sephira is the aspect manifest as the name Elohim, and the ruach is the aspect manifest as the name Chavaya, and the neshama is the aspect manifest as of the spelling out of the name Chavaya. Okay,
Okay, 3 levels.
three levels.
The bottom is Elohim,
Yep.
the middle is Havaya, and the top is Havaya expanded. Okay, let's go ahead, Jim.
They also possess a simple name Chavaya, which is a neshama to it, and a further neshama to both of them. A name Chavaya spelled out, and yet a further neshama to them all, a simple yud. Okay? All of this will be explained in its context, please God. Okay?
Wow, so there's 3 over here?
There's three
In it,
neshama.
what were the 3 things?
And this, a simple name Chavaya, which has a neshama, a further neshama to both of them, and a name Chavaya spelled out. Yet in further neshama to all of them.
The
So-
first was a Havaya.
Yeah.
Second is Havaya spelled, or Yud and Hey. The Hebrew says Yud and Hey spelled, expanded. And the third is just Yud.
Just simply yud, yeah, okay.
Okay, so Alan, go ahead in any case.
In any case, what always strengthens the body and makes it grow is the states of chesed, which produce the drop of semen that initiates the birth process. The source and position of these states of chesed is das. The body here is a spheres that correspond anatomically to the torso and its limbs. That is the spheres from chesed to malchus. We have explained previously that the states of chesed and gevurah within das are the subjective aspects of the intellect, the propensities of attraction and repulsion toward and against the implications of an idea based on what it means for the individual.
You mean, in our own words? What did he just say?
Well, that for chesed and gevurah are within das are the aspects of the intellect, and how
Subjective.
subjective aspects of the intellect, and also the how we view things, either repelling it, or, negating it, or being attracted to it,
Based on what it
based
means
on what it means for
me.
for you, for the individual. Yeah, for the individual.
Yeah, the self comes up.
The self comes up.
Self-derived.
Subjectivity.
Subjectivity.
The self, subjectivity emerges
What
at
the
this
what the
point.
individual person views it to be.
Okay, so that's chesed and gvura within das.
Within the-
Yes.
Okay, we're at 637 at the top.
Of das it is written, and with das the rooms are filled, meaning that the states of chesed within das spread out to water the body and make it grow. This is the mystical meaning of the sage's statement that there is no erection without das, meaning that the root of the whole body is alluded to and rooted in das.
Okay, that typically, that means that the person has himself has involvement. It doesn't happen by its own. But the person doesn't reach physical arousal, just it's on its own. The person has to put his mind to it. Basically, if he didn't want it to happen, it wouldn't happen. That's what it means. It's in a number of places in halacha. But the word das is used for mindfulness. There's mindfulness in this. The word das is used in the expression.
For this reason, it is forbidden to show mercy to someone who has no das. It is also said that without das, a soul is not good, for the soul needs to live. Yeah.
It is also without das.
Das is where we internalize. We become something in the world, in life. If we don't internalize, if we don't make it part of ourselves,
Then there's
we're out of
nothing.
life. There's
Yeah,
nothing.
There's nothing. It's just like earlier we were talking about the states of chesed and gevurah within das are the subjective, and, but it's for the individual. And if there's no das, then the person cannot internalize anything for themselves. They don't have that ability.
It's not into itself. It's just
just there.
floating up in abstract land. It's an idea that's not become known. And I'm talking known in the way das is known.
What's the function of das?
The function of das is
As we're talking about here.
the
As we're
function
talking
of
about in
das
this context.
In this context is the chesed and gevurah of the self emerges from das.
So is it, let me ask you,
Helping develop the person to repel ideas or attract or how to internalize and realize things.
And be in life.
know.
That person is in life this way. I'm
Attraction,
hearing-
the attraction, repulsion of ideas, but it's internalized in themselves. They don't have that ability to internalize anything, either pro or con, for themselves.
so is this saying that when it comes time to making a decision, it's das that helps you determine
help-
what's good for you?
Yeah.
Should I
Yes.
take that job?
Yes,
Should I leave my job?
yes,
Is it okay to hang out with
Both
such
ways.
and such a person?
yes. Or is it detrimental? Both ways.
Yeah, I'm saying, is it
Yeah,
good or is it
yes,
gonna harm
yes,
me?
Yes.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's
And if you don't have that, if you don't have that ability to internalize that, then you're not really existing.
Awareness.
Yeah, you're not aware of
Is
anything.
this-
what are you? Yeah.
Is this person, would this person make a appropriate spouse for
No.
me?
Yeah, right. That's
No.
what you're thinking.
That's the easy answer.
No,
Just no.
but that's what you're thinking. But
that's-
if,
Someone-
if they don't have that ability to internalize that and think that,
Absolutely no
then,
way.
Then there's no way.
One person I see was at a job, I think 10 years.
Yeah.
And it was fine. They were growing, but it was okay.
Yeah.
Then they got like a really good offer with a few changes and challenges, but it was same type of work, and then they're miserable. They're there. They know they have to get out of it. They don't know how to get out of it. And I guess they really know that they're.
But if they can't, if they can't realize,
So in that type of situation,
yes,
where you have to determine, should I accept this or not? That is where das comes into play, and you use your best
Yes.
judgment at the
Yes.
time, but
Yes.
that's where it comes to
And
play.
should I stay or not?
yes,
Or
yes.
afterwards, yeah.
Both.
It's not gonna.
Should I stay or not? Should
Right.
I accept it or not? Whatever.
It's-
Whatever
I mean, there's-
decisions we
They
make.
know it's not gonna last. It's
Whatever
just a matter of how they
decisions
get
we
out.
make. And,
Yeah.
Any
it's
decision.
ongoing. That's what I'm saying.
it's on-
Whatever-
yes.
Right,
whatever-
right. But I'm
whatever.
saying any of these
Yes.
kind of decisions, which
Right.
it seems so many people grapple with.
But that's That's
I have a-
important. That's important for the process.
I have a person in their
They're
90s.
stuck.
I have a person in their 90s
They fumbled.
who left Russia
Yeah.
60 years ago. Left Russia 30 years ago, I think. And it's telling me, oh, we shouldn't have left.
Hey,
We wouldn't be in our situation today. We shouldn't
Oh.
have left. No, but that's
Right.
and I'm not saying whether they're right or wrong, but
But they're internalizing it.
most people live, live with this. When I read that someone says, I've lived my life with no regrets, like, come on,
Everybody
you
has.
can't be for real.
we all have regrets. We all have regrets. That's part of the learning process.
That's part of learning. That's part of the decision making.
Sure. That's
So-
it's the regrets, the mistakes, and a lot of those things that are
Right.
really the powerful learning tools.
Powerful learning tools, yeah, and you get hit over the.
Yeah, well, that's
You get
that's it.
You have a big bump to show for
But
it.
that's it.
But that's life.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it seems to me like this is so what I'm really struck by, for me, reading this and listening to your perspective and your understanding, it seems that this is connected with what I'm hearing. It brings to mind what I hear
Yeah.
from people, what they're telling me about their different situations, and that they're
See, this is
that they're
beautiful
stuck in.
because without without das, a soul is not good. For the soul needs to live. If you're stuck, if
Has to experience
you're
things.
not you're flying. You're just
Right.
you're just spinning in your head. Das internalizes so you can make decisions. I see people so dysfunctional because they can't.
lost.
They're lost. I see them on the streets. I see them. I saw one in the bank today. She was so dysfunctional.
What do you mean you saw in the bank?
This lady just couldn't basically function, or she couldn't come to anything. She just.
She's giving the teller a hard time?
Well, the teller had to do everything for her. She could, and all she was really doing was taking $100 out of her bank account.
Yeah.
And it took a very, very long time. But it was
Really?
It was just. It was very sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and especially in your work, working with people getting divorced, you hear a lot of these things.
Yeah.
Sometimes a major conflict because of
Yeah,
that
it's
not
a lot.
being-
If the
not
couple,
being
if
able
a
to
couple,
internalize things.
a couple can't get together and make
Right.
determinations and decision, it's a tremendous source of friction
Right.
with them. If they can't come to some type of decision-making
right.
process and working it through. Otherwise, there's a
Yeah.
lack of interaction and a lack of coupling, actually.
Yeah, and then they're asking, where did I go wrong?
Yeah.
How come I'm so blind
And
I
then
didn't see
they're
it?
back in their head, boom, 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 and all this stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so we're in the middle of what time is it?
It's
6:37.
8:35.
Maybe we could finish.
Okay.
Okay, Jim, middle of 6:37. I think,
Thus, we're here.
yeah.
Thus, the
Yes.
source of all seven Sifirot and their vitality is stored within Das. From there, life force spreads out and causes the seven Sifirot to develop. The origin and the root always remains within Das, and it only spreads forth in response to the deeds of those in the lower worlds and their arouser of it through acts here below. Their acts cause the upper levels to be aroused and to give additional light of Das in and to the seven Sifirot. And from the plenitude of light that enters the body, it bestows and adds greatly throughout the seven Sifirot.
What? You catch that?
Yeah,
It sounded very flowery.
It seems like that the actions affected by Das and the emotion
Affects everything.
can go back to the upper levels and arouse the upper levels to
The
give,
upper levels meaning
meaning,
Das.
meaning beyond Das, Chachma,
Right.
Bina,
Beyond Das?
and I would even speak higher, and to give light
To the seven lower spheres.
to Das again, and in it to the lower Sifirot. It arouses the higher Sifirot.
Again, Das is the
The kind of the medium.
keystone.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Keystone.
The keystone or where that everything goes through.
Goes through, yeah.
Okay.
That's how we.
That's what it means. So when we do actions, all right, let's go ahead. This
So
does.
Das comprises states of Chesed and states of Gevurah. All couplings, that's that word, are affected through these states of Chesed, acting as the male waters, and these states of Gevurah acting as the female waters. These 10 are the 10 simple names Chavaya, okay? Masculine ones extend to the male parts of Zeranpin, particular to the Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, in contrast to Yesod and Malchus, that is, the crown of Yesod, do not possess a state of Chesed, as in the case of the first 5 of the 7 Midot, for there are only 5 states of Chesed.
Where's the commentary?
No,
We did have way back in generally speaking, we talk about Malchus referring to the female.
Yeah.
Correct?
But in the very, very beginning of our class, now it's Pesach. After Pesach, it will be 4 years since we started. We'll be beginning our 5th year in a couple of weeks. We did point out then that Malchus actually, or technically, is not really the female. It is the crown of Yesod. It is the
Okay.
tip. The Hebrew word is crown, atara, or tiara, is actually Malchus, is the tip of the bris.
So we're saying that
Chesed,
Chesed-
Gvura, Netzach, Hod, and Hod,
right.
Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes, Netzach, and Hod have that there are 5 states of Chesed that exist there.
5 states, right?
Yeah, and Yesod and Malchus do not have this.
Right. Okay. The same applies to the states of Gevurah that extend to Malchus, the female parts of Nukva to Zeranpin. They spread out into her Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, as do the states of Chesed throughout the male parts of. So it's the same. Gevurah is the same in light as Chesed is the five
But
states.
it seems like it says within Malchus, the 5 things within Malchus, but I'm not clear. Okay, Alan, you want to go ahead?
As for Yesod and Malchus of Zeranpin, the general radiance of the 5 states of Chesed descends to them from Das. This general radiance extends to Yesod and to the crown of Yesod too, in order to prepare them to receive the 5 states of Chesed themselves. The same applies to Yesod and Malchus of Nukva. They also receive the general radiance of the states of Gevurah in order to prepare them to receive later the 5 states of Gevurah themselves.
I'm not really
I
following
think
this.
they're talking about the masculine waters and the feminine
feminine
waters
waters.
coupling together. And it doesn't reach in either place in the parts of Avim, to the bottom 2 parts of Yesod and Malchus. That's what I get. But I get that it's within the other emotional states, not the Yesod and Malchus.
Okay,
That's
okay.
That's a little
There's
less.
not a lot of commentary here. I vote that we'll continue reading, we'll finish this.
all right. I'm
This-
just saying
Yes.
that's what it seems to be.
That's what it seems, but to understand well, I
To
don't know.
understand it deeper, it would need
Commentary.
a lot of pages.
The same applies to Yesod and Malchus of Nukva. They also receive the general radiance of the states of Gevurah in order to prepare them to receive later the 5 states of Gevurah themselves. This general light that spreads through Yesod comes to them, that is Yesod and Malchus of Zeranpin, from Das, preparing it to receive afterwards the drop of semen from the totality of the preceding 5 sephiros. For were they not to receive this general radiance, they would not afterwards be able to receive the states of chesed themselves as of drop of semen, as mentioned. Similarly, the same applies to the parts of Malchus with regard to the states of Gevurah. Thus, there are 5 states of Chesed, their general radiance for Yesod of Zer Anpin, and their general radiance for Malchus of Zer Anpin. These add up to 7. And likewise for the parts of Malchus, it is veritably constructed from the 5 states of Gevurah, which cause it to develop just as the states of Chesed do for the male parts of, as is known.
Okay.
Now we have explained all this. Now that we've explained all this, it's time for me to tell you another principle. We should ask why there are only 5 states of Chesed which shine into Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes, Netzach, and Hod, while for Yesod and Malchus there is only a general radiance, as we've explained. Hashem could have made it so there were 7 states of Chesed, each of the 7 midos receiving the light of one state of Chesed. The same question may be asked about the states of Gevurah. The answer is as follows. All the limbs of the body, the hands, the feet, and the torso, perform functions, walking with the legs, artistry with deeds with the hands, and similarly the torso, which is the stem of the legs and hands. They are always active. The limb of Yesod, on the other hand, has only a spiritual, not physical function, and then only from time to time. It remains flaccid except during marital relations. This is why it is said in the Zohar that Yosef was born. It means that when Zer Anpin wants to couple with Nukva, and all the lights of the higher Sephirot spread through it, it comes to life.
Yosef is Yesod. When it says Yosef was born, it means that the bris comes
Correct.
it comes to life.
Yeah. And that's why.
When the Zer Anpin wants to couple, or metaphorically to be intimate, then the lights shine in it, and at that time it comes to life. So you know now why we don't tie the esrog with the.
Right.
Did you get? Okay, this is only a selection.
Yeah.
This is a selection that was picked out.
Okay,
So
I get-
there's a lot more, and I don't have the original book to
Yeah,
go in and
yeah,
see what's
it's
there.
little
But
pieces. Yeah, I
but
get his pieces.
we asked a few questions at the beginning,
It's-
and this is the foundation of the answer.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it appears to me that the answer was not included in here,
Okay.
unless it's continued. I don't think so. I don't think it's continued in the next thing.
I think we're in a
But,
different universe.
But basically, that's what it's about.
Yep.
It gives an idea.
I get it.
Okay,
All
so
right, so we're off next week.
we did. So today we did
One whole.
633 and 634, and then 634 to 639.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, we are off next week.
all right.
Which button?
Hit the buttons.
Just
hit
tap
whatever.
the thing.
Oh, I gotta get up.
Yeah, just tap that, and it should shut it off.
Set to no, 11 o'clock.
Okay, hold on.
No.